Good afternoon, friends and traders. Happy Thursday. I'm Dan Hodgman. This is the market recap. It is Thursday, June 17th. I hope you guys all had a great day. Right off the gates, I apologize about yesterday. Lost track of time. Got a little too excited trading yesterday afternoon, so I do apologize for that. I hope you guys have found some great opportunity, though, yesterday or today. Like Tanya's saying here, up 18% today. That's an outstanding day. Those are numbers we love to hear, and I think you're right, Tanya. You said it. Probably should take tomorrow off. I think that's a good idea. I think a lot of people will be taking tomorrow off. It is Friday. It is summer, and I don't know about where you're at, but it's going to be 92 degrees where I'm at. I'll be looking to get out of here bright and early tomorrow and get out and enjoy some of that sun. Opportunity was there today, too. The talk of the town, everything we're paying attention, needed to be keeping an eye on, is this whole commodities world. China coming in, talking about regulation with the U.S., especially as this U.S. dollar strengthens. They're kind of cracking down, coming in hard. Things like palladium, down 11%. Platinum, 7%. You've got 5% for corn, 4% for contracts with copper. Oil prices were down 2%. I mean, you talk about a lot of these things are down. Silver, I'm seeing down 8 at one point. Lumber down 9.8%. Lumber has been the one a lot of people are talking about. Grains, corn down 21.3%. Huge moves really across the board. Just for perspective here, soybean right now I'm looking at active. Here we go. 8.5%. So these things are just all over the place. And those percentages I was talking about, those are not just today. That's over some time. So markets really are moving everywhere, and I really hope you guys are able to take advantage of it. Remember, we got to stop fighting directional moves. I'm sitting here watching people do it all the time, and when a market picks a direction, let's take NASDAQ as a prime example. I'm going on a little tangent here. Let's take NASDAQ as a prime example. 20 handles or 20 full points in the NASDAQ is a very small little fraction when it comes to that market. We sat here. I watched it rip from 103s up to 178s like it was nothing. To sit here and say that a 10 or 20 or even a 30 handle pull reversal is the top and the market's changing directions completely, you're trading the wrong market. And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of newer traders out there. They're getting into NASDAQ. NASDAQ is fun. NASDAQ's exciting. But you see 20 handle moves, and 20 handle moves at $20 a handle times 20 handles. That's a $400 move. Those are huge values. But 20 handles in the grand scheme of things with that market is not a big move. And so if you find yourself thinking that that's a huge move, I was talking with a friend of mine. He's been trading in NASDAQ a little bit here lately for the first time in his career. And we had a 10-handle pullback on a trade that he was in. And we were on the phone. We were talking through it. And he's like, oh, man, it's ripping against us. I go, dude, it's 10 handles. That's child's play in the NASDAQ. And at that's when we watched it rip from 103 up to 178 like nothing. These moves are drastic in something like the NASDAQ. So be patient. Let those pullbacks come into play. 20 handle move, maybe that's just a little bit of a pullback and a directional move. That is not reversal. If the market gets directional, trade with the direction. We want to trade with probabilities. If market's going somewhere, we're not here to pick the top. We're not here to say, all right, there's our 10 handle pullback. That's the reversal. Look for this thing to sink right on down. Trend is your friend. It sounds crazy to say, but it really is as true as it gets. Same thing if the market's showing us range bound. You don't want to try and buy that top thinking it's going to break out. Probabilities are where we make money as traders. Trading the probability. If market's directional, we want to move with the direction. That's the probability. If market's showing that it's range bound, we want to trade inside that range. That's the high probability. We're all here to make money. Those are some of the things you can think about to help you make money. All right, tangent over. Okay, I want to say hello to everyone. I see some stuff coming in here. Brian, good to see you. Sean as well. Tanya, so excited for you. And I agree take tomorrow off. It's a Friday. I know you love your homesteading stuff. Maybe get out there, work in the field, work in the yard a little bit. Check on those vegetables. I have started to grow my first ever sets of vegetables. I got some tomatoes and jalapenos growing, and I'm pretty jazzed up about it. They are looking very good. I'm so excited. Greg, good to see you. Joshua, hi Dan, over 1,000 ES. Way to go, Joshua. Love seeing that. Nice 4-figure day. Greg, Dan, where do you grab real-time news? I do not see China commodity story in my news. The China commodity is just a headline all over CNBC right now. I think that's just the main one. Commodities tumble on China crackdown, rising dollar. That's the main headline there. I get my news. I have a little bit of a Twitter feed that I do look at. I follow some news sources. I follow Associated Press. I follow a couple of traders. That's something to think about. Just having the apps on your phone, and doesn't matter. Maybe you love or you hate Fox News, but having the apps, you get the notification. Same for CNN. Love them or hate them. Have the app on your phone. You get the notification. Those are things that just pop so we can see something along that. Tanya, hello, my stop at NQ's 30 handles. It almost has to be. It's such a volatile market right now. Michael, good to see you. And yes, markets definitely breathe. Nicholas, good to see you. And you're right, Tanya. They'll smother if you don't. Exactly. I'm going to do some roasted salsa with it. I'm pretty excited for these vegetables. Maybe some smoked jalapeno poppers wrapped in bacon. I don't know. The options are endless. I'm really excited about it. Norman, I made 5Q and 9Q today. Way to go, Norman. Trading is a game of probabilities. That's it. No one can predict what the market will do. Spot on. Trade the probabilities. If probability states... trend is your friend would not be this cliche if it wasn't true, right? That's a probability. Nicholas, sadly, I had to learn those lessons on the NQ more times than I'd like, but we'll keep learning. Way to go. We all have to learn them a little bit. We all still have our moments of weakness, and it's a matter of overcoming that. If we can focus on that risk management, if you can open up that time frame a little bit, to me, that's the key here. If you open up the time frame, it's slowing down what you're looking at in a market like the NASDAQ. This is like crude oil was 5 or 6 years ago when crude oil was $80 to $100 a barrel. We had huge ranges. Like today. Today's range, we broke from 72.30 all the way to 69.77. Huge range there. When you're trading in that range, when the range is showing $2, well, 20 cents, okay, that's something to think about. If we're getting that 200 points and 20 cents, to us, we look at it as, well, that's the reversal. Well, maybe not. We've got to keep those things into perspective. Bill, good to see you. Okay, my tangent's over. But I do want to take a look at these markets and see what we had happen here today, find where some of that opportunity was. So let's go ahead and take a look at crude oil here to start. Really quick, I just got to pull one thing up. There we go. All right, crude oil. This morning we opened up right at settlement price. 72.15 is our settlement price. We opened up above it. We opened up at it. We tried to trade above it. We rejected as soon as we came to overnight high. It rejected. So to me, here's a great opportunity. You have settlement price, 72.15. Overnight high, right here. We're going to call that 72.29. 72.29 is our overnight high. Market popped to 72.30. As soon as we watch that pop, now is when we can start thinking about where's my opportunity down below. Well, you guys know me. I got a lot I'm looking at down below. So first off, we've got point of control 72.08. That's pretty tight. That 7 cents from from settlement price to me, this is an area. This is really where we're starting to look for opportunity. So let's just kind of frame this out a little bit. Let's get a little framework here. We can start to look at it. We're looking at yesterday. We're coming to yesterday. Oh. So here we go. Here's the initial framework we're looking at off the open. We've got our overnight high, settlement price, point of control, all here within about 22 cents of each other. We can extend this a little bit lower, and we've got value area low And notice how that's right where the swing high was last night. So now this is where we start to frame out our market off the open. Just straight, we don't have to get this. This doesn't have to count the trade that we're already seeing. We're trading inside of it. So we've got this channel or this range that we want to keep an eye on. So right up here at 72.28, 72.30, all the way down to about 71.95. This is the channel we're looking for extremes to be faded to start. Market opens up, dips, rallies right back into our range, and starts to break outside. Here's where we can start to look. Here's where we're looking. And the visual down below, the thing that catches my eye, the thing I'm paying attention to, I'm going to keep watching for a prior settlement price all the way down here where we've had multiple settlement prices. It's where I'm going to start to look down below after I get past overnight low. So we got overnight low 71.32. Let's say we decide to take the short up here at 71.93. We're looking at a 60-point opportunity. We can easily justify a 2-to-1 trade for looking for the market to come check overnight lows. We can look to start to get into this market, and we can still have a relatively roomy stop. We can look to put the stop, truthfully, we can look to put that stop. We can give ourselves 30 cents, and we're pretty damn comfortable. I'm okay with that. Now, I'm probably not going to try to get in this low. I'm going to watch the market test below it, see if I can get, you guessed it, the pullback right to settlement price. That's where I'm jumping in, and I'm saying I'm expecting this market to break below value area low, and I'm looking to check overnight low. That's what I'm trading here. That's a simple trade that I'm going to take, and I'm willing to take the heat and take the loss. And I'm not going to just bring my stop up to that point or value area low. I'm looking for bigger ranges because I'm willing to risk a little bit to take this move, to take that 75 cents. And that's the trades that we can look for that continuously pay out for us. Okay, next, let's go ahead and look at the S&P 500, which was not a hugely opportunistic day. I know we're seeing some money there. Definitely a little bit more of a volatile day. But here's what's got my attention. We opened up at settlement price. We could not pick anything. Directions all over the place. Still trying to kind of digest what we got from yesterday's Fed meeting, right? Finally, settlement price broke down. That's possibly the trade I'm looking at. Settlement price was right here at 42.13 even. The problem is there's a lot of room up top showing that this market is testing, continuously trying. We've seen it multiple times today. Try to run up and break back down. So I'm really hesitant to try and get in on this trade, but that's really where that setup was. You're trying to catch that short from settlement price because you saw constant rejection. We saw that constant rejection a couple places. Then we have to start to look down below. And I'm looking simply value area low down here at 41.95. So good 18-point move. But for a lot of people, that's a lot of risk you're looking at to get in that trade. I totally respect that and understand that. And that's why I'm saying this may have been a little bit more of a difficult trade to get in just because of this whipsaw open all over the place. And the last thing you want to do is get in there and just try and, pick up a couple here, pick up a couple there. That's going to lead to some detrimental trading. Really, you want to try and find that bigger opportunity. And again, like I said, the risk is relatively large in that 7 or 8 point full handle stops. That's a lot of money. You're looking, at 8 handles. That's a $400 stop per contract that you're trading. That can get pretty pricey, so I totally get that. Next, let's go ahead and look at the NASDAQ. Strongest of them all here today. Really strong trend to the upside. Market opened up, blew right through settlement price, blew right through yesterday's point of control. Started to slow up as we approach value area high from yesterday. This is where I started looking. This is where I'm starting to look for some opportunity for myself. Like I said, it was on with a friend. We watched it rip from 103s up to 178s like it was nothing. So, here's what I'm pointing out. We're talking pullbacks earlier, right? We have a run We're not even going to get all the way to the high side of this. Well, we'll go up. We got to run all the way up to 190. Pullback comes all the way down to 60. 130 point pullback. For us as traders, we need to be patient and wait for levels to come back into play if we're going to try and get on in this trend. The initial slight pullback, this is where I'm guessing everyone started saying reversal, until you start to see where we're pulling back to. We're pulling back into yesterday's value area. We come right to yesterday's point of control, to the stinking tick, and explode off that. So this is when we get to start to look for how we're going to enter into these markets. Looking for those levels on the pullbacks, not just a small little, hey, here was a 30-minute bar showing a pullback, I'm going to get in. We want to look for a little bit more key levels. I get this one. Comes right back to this week's high. But we continued lower. Watch that next candlestick open up. If we start to make a new low on that, that's a signal to make sure you're not jumping in. Hold on tight just for a little bit. Wait for the pullback to really show it's over. And it quickly did. It came right down to a key level. This, to me, pullback or not, this is a great area. Prior day or points of control. Great area to look to hop into that trade. So, value area here today, adjusted, moving higher. Yesterday's value area high becomes today's value area low. And we extend that value area high all the way up to 14,200, just shy of. All right, next, let's look at the gold market. Like we said, commodities taking the hit. Gold overnight broke. We tried to bring in some buyers off the open. Equities opened, and everything is just taking that tumble right now, taking that little bit of a hit. Right now, when a market is this directional overnight, you gotta be careful, right? There are two very simple schools of thought. Okay, it's gotta recover something, right? That's a lot of thought processes, and others are gonna say it's gonna continue this trend lower. Well, the move really took place in the overnight. We saw a little bit lower moves throughout the regular trading hours, but ultimately, this thing kind of fell into a pattern as more volume and liquidity came into this market. It held it up. So now we got to watch off the open here at 5 o'clock if you're trading to see where this thing starts to go. If it continues lower, there's going to be some opportunity. Otherwise, we may see buyers start to try and pick this thing up as we hear more about what China's doing. We're going to have to pay close attention to that. But as you guys know me, when there's a big moving day like this, my initial instinct is following time, start to look for what I like to call the hangover day, where things just kind of fall into a little bit of a pattern, can't really pick that direction yet, not overpowering to the short or not overpowering to the long. All right, next, let's take a look at the euro. Euro broke yesterday after the Fed meeting and really just has not stopped. Trend continues lower at this point. It's as simple as looking for pullbacks and selling those pullbacks. Find those pullbacks, pulling into some sort of consolidation, some sort of level that you recognize. Look for those chances to then take the shorts. That's my opinion on this market. I'm going to be continuously looking for pullbacks to continue to short this market, especially as this U.S. dollar continues to move higher. We've been trending a little bit higher over the last week or so. Something we got to pay attention to. Oh, and inflation, that's still a thing. Lastly, the 10-year note. Got a little opportunity here on the 10-year note. Opened up, pushed to settlement price, and here we go. This is what I'm loving. This is what I love when markets work out like we talk all the time. We start to struggle to get through settlement price, and notice we only have a few ticks up above, and we're yesterday's value area low. This is where we get to start to look for opportunity. We broke through. Now, you can think about maybe I'm getting along. Here's where people are going to get shaken out. We're going to get shaken out on this pullback. But this pullback does not come back to settlement price for us. Test one or two ticks right outside of yesterday's value area low. To me, this is a great chance as we see yields reacting. We're seeing the yield curve. There we go. That's the term I'm looking for. The yield curve is flattening. We got an opportunity to say, hey, let's see if we can see this market start to recover some of yesterday's losses. That's exactly what we had happen here today. So those are our markets here today. Hope you guys have all had a wonderful day so far. And again, if you weren't here at the beginning, I do apologize that I missed yesterday's market recap. 100% on me. Like I said, got sidetracked, was in the middle of trading. It's been a busy couple weeks of trading for me. Looking to slow that one down a little bit more. Just see some comments here. Sean, I only see on my daily, I only have 4 or 5 bars show up. Am I doing something wrong, or do I need to change my settings? It's only showing the bars since rollover. Sean, that's a great question. Typically for me, when I look at the daily, if you're using TS Trader, when you input a product, I would do the full active chart. So it's at, let's just say you're looking for the active NQ. I would do at NQ, and that's going to get all your historical data. As far as like contract specific, that I'm not 100% sure on specifics on that one. Most of my daily charts, I'm looking at the active chart, which tends to run the front month for pricing, and it gives me a little bit more historical data there. So that's something I do. Yeah, and sometimes just reloading will fix things too. Norman, yep, all right. Keep it simple. Trading is what lasts. Couldn't agree more. Does TS Trader have settlement price accessible on the platform? Yeah, Brian, it's just in your quote board. Add a quote board, select your column, and you can add settlement price there. It does not automatically input settlement into the charts. That's something you'll have to draw yourself in TS Trader. All right, NQ just topped. I hope I am net short on the close. Going short on the close. And a trending higher market. Let's see what happens there for you, Gilmo. Yeah, NQ cuts through price like a hot knife through butter. Couldn't argue with that one bit. All right, guys. Let's take a look. What do we got going on and everything? First off, let's go ahead and start with our Bitcoin price. Let's see how we're doing over there. Like I said, I swear every day I do this, and then I can't find my Bitcoin chart. No. There it is. All right, Bitcoin trading 37,690. Remember the first year we bought that bad boy for 34,000. Had some good rallies, had some strong breaks. It's not over yet. We got a long year ahead of us. Next, let's look at our other buy. Remember we bought Airbnb for $148, and I just exited out of my tab. 1 second. Here we go. Airbnb stock, $150.70. We got the VIX. VIX picked up a little bit. We saw it pop over 19 today. Just looking at yesterday, we had a nice pop as well yesterday, but nothing too crazy. We haven't seen huge pops in the VIX. 17, 18, 19 is kind of where we're trading at pretty nicely now. GameStop, such an interesting stock, right? So overvalued, $223.59 a share. Tesla, 616. Tesla's really kind of found its happy price. This floating around $600 a share really has shown that this market's pretty comfortable there. Up 15, down 15, floating at 600. So maybe the tear on Tesla is over for the time being. AMC, though, continues its surge, up another 10% today, trading $60.73. Lastly, it is Thursday. Don't forget. It is Thursday. Yeah, it is Thursday. Tomorrow, quiet day in the economic release front. Very quiet day tomorrow, so that'll be nice. If you're like Tanya, if you're like Norman, if you're like Joshua, excuse me, I apologize. If you guys had a great day today, don't hesitate to take tomorrow off. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then lastly, this date in history, got some interesting ones. The first one, the first ever roller coaster in America opened in 1884 at Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York. 1884, man, you couldn't probably pay me to get on that. And then I thought I had one more. Yes, this one. 1903, the Ford Motor Company was incorporated. So some cool stuff happened on this date in history. So at that, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I guys, hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Good. Have a nice evening. Don't forget, John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with a market forecast. So until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. Look forward to seeing you.